It is your boy Isaac Espinosa back again with CEI Esports. We are here at J+L Gaming over on 6th Avenue near Bryant Park, and we are here ready to get another game hunt going for all of y'all today. Oh,
Isaac, what are you doing, bro?
I'm making the intro.
Why are you doing the intro?
What do you mean? I thought I was gonna be on game hunt today.
We are here with the video game man himself, quite the intellectual and knows a lot about the video game world. We got my man, Isaac Espinosa, the man himself. So now, Isaac is a very, very, very knowledgeable video game guy. He does a lot of great content for us, so happy to have him as a member of the content team. So Isaac, before we started this, you kind of told me about a little search that you're on, something that kind of sparked a little memory that you want to kind of look for. Tell us a little bit about that.
So, for those that don't know, I may be a Nintendo guy, but I am a big Sonic guy as well, which means that for me, the Sonic game that I'm looking for in this store is Sonic Unleashed for the Wii.
Sonic Unleashed is actually a really good game. You know, we're not gonna start the bashing early because there's a lot of positive that has come from Sonic Team. But Unleashed is one of those games that does sit in a pretty favorable spot, especially with a lot of other bombs like, what was it, Sonic 06? Let's see if we can get on this hunt. Let's see if we can find this game. And let's have fun and spend some money. Let's go. What do you think when you see this kind of environment in a store like this?
It's always impressive, to be honest. It's always impressive to kind of see the dedication that really goes into preserving a lot of these games and their shelf life. Especially because you see a lot of these, like you look right here on the PS4 games, and even on the games over here on the shelves, you look at them and you see all the plastic. That goes to show how much dedication they have to preserving all the things that have come from history.
There's not as many of places like this still doing it, especially to this level and that preservation of history in games, right? And how important it is. So I think that's why it's important that we keep showing up and pulling up to places like this to kind of really showcase what's out there and what's available. So like, I completely agree with that.
They got Bubsy 3D in here?
If we used to find Bubsy 3D, we would probably stay away from it. Just, sorry, Bubsy. You know what's funny? So Bubsy had 2 games initially on the Sega Genesis, and first one I completely adore it. Even though like the controls was a little wacky, like his running animations and getting him to start and stop was a little weird. Kind of like how Sonic was, I guess, when he has a lot of momentum. Aside from that, the game was very, very fun. I don't know what they was thinking with Bubsy 3D. I don't know if it was just trying to be ahead of its time or had that kind of trajectory, but that game just did not work.
The thing for Bubsy 3D was that Accolade, the people that made Bubsy, they were trying to catch on the hype of like bringing somebody from 2D to 3D because Mario was doing it. They had PlayStation just released Crash Bandicoot as well. So they were trying to get Bubsy in there. Too bad, unfortunately, that game never left the beta stages. That game is one of the worst 3D platformers ever, and it's so unfortunate because I think they could have potentially had something really nice. One of the best games on there, easily Nintendo Land. Nintendo Land was so sick. It was basically just a ton of attractions based off of Nintendo's other games. So like they had an attraction based on Mario, Luigi's Mansion, Legend of Zelda. Most of them were multiplayer, and each of them were super sick because they kind of took like a small segment from like the actual series they were based off of and made it into a small little mini game, and it was super fun. My favorite was always Mario Chase.
Mario Chase?
Yeah, you had to
like a tag game or something?
It's basically everyone dressed as Toads.
Toad is trash. Why he not in Smash Brothers?
Ain't got no respect
trash.
for my man. What do you mean? He's in Peach's moveset.
Peach trash.
Wow.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Princess Peach Showtime.
Now you tell me officially, right? Because I've seen the trailers and I know what it looks like. How do you really feel about that game going into it without playing it?
Looks really good. Them kind of going into Peach's like own identity with the game. They got a bunch of stuff. They're having her be on a stage. It's supposed to be like a whole theatrical thing. They're having her go through different kinds of set plays. There's like a bunch of outfits.
That's cool. That's cool.
Not to mention all the outfits give her certain powers too, which is really sick.
I'm gonna make a quick apology before I do my final bashing. Shout out to Princess Peach. Shout out to Toad and your appearances in the games. You matter, just not to me. Isaac, take a look and feast your eyes at some of the biggest items to ever grace the stage, thanks to Nintendo. How do you feel looking at all of these Nintendo products?
It's kind of crazy to see how much Nintendo has made for the Switch. You gotta remember, the Switch came out in 2017. Switch has been with us for a long time. So seeing like everything that they have and like all the games that they've made too, like down here, Nintendo knows how to like invest in their products most of the time. We don't talk about the Wii U. But anyway,
what did you find?
they have Mario All-Stars.
Oh, they got a physical copy.
The game that was meant to not be sold ever again after it left the stores. They have it.
I mean, it does cost $120.
That's the reason why. That's why, because it was supposed to be that they didn't. This game was meant to just never exist again. But then, you know, people preserve it. And that's why it's $120. I want to direct y'all's attention to the DS section.
What an amazing era.
Oh man, where do I even begin? Seeing all these DS games like this, it just feels like I'm looking at my beginning. Back when I was little, I had Mario and Luigi Partners in Time for the DS. That was where I really began my gaming history. So seeing all of this DS stuff and all the DS games here just feels so surreal. Seeing like my history.
I feel like that every time that I come on some of these hunts. Like, I played so many games and been around them even years after their initial releases. I just can never get enough just being around it, being around the environment, just talking about this stuff. Like, we talk about history a lot. Gaming is history. Let's acknowledge that. Gaming is a part of history. It's a part of innovation. It's a part of technological advancements, right? Like, I heard that in the military, don't quote me, and it's something I've heard, they use like game controllers to control drones. Multi-billion-dollar products being controlled by a video game controller. Now tell me who's really innovating.
A Game Boy brick survived the bomb blast.
This device
That survived the bomb blast.
warfare, and it's still working. It still turns on.
You gotta give it to Nintendo. Their hardware is sturdy. My GameCube controllers are still working to this day, and I've had them literally since I was a baby.
What you found?
So what y'all know about licensed games? Like stuff that is like not Nintendo's like exclusive IPs, but like the big companies.
What's
like
your favorite?
So we got one right here, and there's a bit of a story to this one.
Okay.
So there is a DS game right here called SpongeBob SquarePants Nicktoons Globs of Doom.
Globs of Doom?
And I don't know if you've heard of Nicktoons Unite.
Yes, that I've heard of. Yes.
So this is the sequel. This is like the third sequel to this game. Nicktoons Unite has been like going on for a long time. It's been Nicktoons Unite. Then afterwards it was the sequel, Battle for Volcano Island. Afterwards it was Attack of the Toy Bots. And then now, the latest one in the series is Globs of Doom. This was the one for the DS. And I have a bit of a flex real quick. Back in 2022, I may or may not have been on the leaderboard for the speedrunning community for this game. I may or may not have formerly been third in the world.
Hey,
as the third best Globs of Doom speedrunner.
Shout out to Globs of Doom. Whatever the Globs, they was definitely doomed, because as soon as Isaac stepped on the scene, he owned that.
Oh yes, there it is. Is this it? Yeah.
The Dragon Quest controller.
The Dragon Quest slime controller. You see in the back, you got the buttons, and you have to carry it like the slime is like sideways.
I don't know what the purpose is of this device, aside from being the novelty. How do you play with that? Like, what kind of hands do you have? You gotta have like a slime hands. You know what I'm saying? Really. What?
Oh, what y'all know about the Game Gear?
Yo, that's crazy. Like, handhelds were really, really, really a thing. And like, look at the sheer size of that. Like, I don't know if like, to make a successful handheld now, portability is the biggest thing. Cause like, as long as it can actually play the games that I want to play and it has great features, I'll take away a little portability for a great device.
You got to remember too that the thing that really ushered in a lot of portable gaming was the Game Boy. Mm-hmm. That big old brick of a console stood even to the GameCube era. So you can imagine that everyone was like trying to hop on that train. Sega too with the Game Gear. You see right here, it's like, look at this thing. This thing is gigantic. This is pretty big for like a portable gaming console back then.
Yeah, 100%.
At least it wasn't the Atari one, because the Atari one was ridiculous, bro. It was humongous.
Jeez.
Nah, Echo
the Dolphin?
Echo the
They had a
Tides.
game on Game Gear?
Look at this right here. Echo the Tides of Time.
Wow. See, I didn't know that. I'm not gonna lie. I know Echo the Dolphin, where they first came from, the Sega Genesis, right?
Yes.
Had no idea it was on a portable console.
They had a Terminator game on the Game Gear too? I didn't know that.
I mean, looking at some of the covers of these Game Gear games, I think a lot, if not most of them, are ports. Like, they share the same color covers with their Genesis or Super Nintendo counterparts. So, I mean, I'd rather them just have built games from the ground up, but of course, that was a way different time.
Do you remember Street Fighter for the Game Boy?
No, I think you got me there, bro. No, there was one fighting game, though, that I did play on the Game Boy. What was it? Was it Fist of the North Star? Yo, that game was crazy. The soundtrack, I don't remember how it goes, but it's like... And then all you gotta do, you jumping from one side to the other, bro. You're spamming literally a button, bro. Trying to get them kicks off, you know what I'm saying?
Ocarina of Time was like phenomenal for like N64 games at the time, because that was Link's first 3D adventure, and much like how Mario 64 kind of made that for Mario, it's the same for Link. And then Majora's Mask just kind of elevated that, because Majora's Mask was just like, it was just so different.
Yeah. I mean, Ocarina of Time, even to a lot of people who's played it or even grew up with the game, is still arguably for them the greatest game to ever exist. Same way that Super Mario 64, to some, including myself, maybe in that conversation. 64 was a very, very interesting time. I mean, the way that they innovated on 3D graphics, the inclusion of the thumbstick on their controller, even though the shape of the controller itself may not have been the most ideal as we see it up there.
This controller is horribly designed. It's so bad.
It'll be one of the best for me. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's not practical, but like, I had so many memories on that controller. Like,
why is it just a stick in the middle? For what? Why is it there? Why is it in the middle?
Oh, this innovation, man. I know it seems crazy now, but dude, like, that really changed the way 3D games were played. You can move your character in such a way where, like, spinning around, the jumps, the wall jumps, all of the things that was possible for having that device. Not saying that the joystick didn't exist already, right? Like, previous generations had already done that, but this right here, man, using this right here on your controller for movement would become a mainstay even today. Bro, nah, yo, this song is tough, bro. Y'all can't tell me nothing. You know what I'm saying? A little shimmy. This is a mistake. So, I'm gonna get this game. Now, front is a little torn. This is Superman 64. Arguably the worst game ever created in the existence of video games. Now, I thought, why not, for a bit of a laugh, we'll bring this back to the office and we'll challenge everyone on the esports team to beat the first level. Anyone on our team who in one try, right? Because I know we're all resourceful and we'll get it eventually. If you can beat this first level on the first try, I'll treat you to something out of J+L Gaming. We'll talk about price later on, but I'm confident enough that no one will be able to beat the first level of the worst game ever created. So $25. There you go, right down the drain. Let me tell you something about this game and why it bothers me so
By all
much.
means.
I once rented this game when I was younger, back in the Blockbuster. You know what I'm saying? You get what you want. You rent it for how many days? And why I hate this game so much is not just because it's trash. It's because I rented the game and I could not beat the first level. Imagine you a kid, right? And this is your weekend. This is your Friday to Sunday, and you get one game, right? I had consoles, I had games, but we can't all just go out of my. You get one game for the weekend, and you cannot beat the first 5 minutes because of some floating rings.
That's how I feel
But
about it.
please put some of this first level on the stage. What are these rings here? What is the purpose to have floating and flying rings that, mind you, it's impossible to fly through the rings and consecutively just because the game is broken, it doesn't work. Why do this for the first level? Why not have Superman beat up some bad guys, which doesn't happen until after you beat the rings, which you can't beat the rings? What is the purpose?
Social experiment.
Social.
It's a social experiment to educate the youth and all aspiring game developers of how not to make a game.
It's a great time here at J+L Game. Love being here, but unfortunately for Isaac now, he has failed his hunt.
We have not found Sonic Unleashed on the Wii.
It sucks. It does suck. Didn't find what we was looking for, so we'll keep looking, of course, and potentially down the road, you know, we'll do Isaac justice and see if we can get his game on the hunt. But there's a whole bunch of other stuff.
We got our selection of stuff right here. Guy didn't get my hunt. Didn't get Sonic Unleashed, unfortunately. But we got ourselves a 3DS stylus. And
Over there, counting accessories. I still don't know what to get.
bro, I need accessories for my 3DS. It's important. Bro, my charger for my 3DS has been busted up since I got it. It has been really bad to have. But, you know, this is the season of giving. And I need to give myself some updates. Yeah, I think we need to just illustrate how much Lopez is molding right now.
I don't like the game, bro. Like, the fact that I'm buying it, like, it's for content. Like, yeah, it's for content. But, like, this goes to show how bad the content culture is. This is what people are willing to do for content. To buy Superman 64. Look, he scanned it. Did you hear that? That scan sounded different. Oh my goodness.
This is how you know he's ultra molding right now. The fact that
No, because we was over there and it was funny at first. It was funny when we was over there at first, and I thought it was a joke, and then for kicks, let's buy the game. It's
163.
163, bro. There wouldn't have been that price, bro.
Now here's the thing, right? He can mold all he wants, but at the end of the day, who's the one paying for it right now? Who's the one that bought the game? You know what I mean?
Metroid Dread, a phenomenal game. This is what I found on the hunt. We didn't find our initial hunt, which Isaac came in here to find Sonic Unleashed, but it's still out there. We'll still find it, and hopefully when we do, we'll be able to actually showcase it. So this is a great pickup for me. Glad to add it to my collection. Played it briefly, so glad to have it. And then I have this. Yes. Oh, haha. We have Superman 64. What do we say about this game? I bought it. I paid $25 for it. J+L charged me tax. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. So like I said, J+L is a great place. They have everything you want, and they had this. We'll see if you guys can beat the first level. What did you get there, Isaac? Because I'm really upset.
I didn't really go for games. I kind of went for accessories because they've been needing an update for quite some time. So first off, got ourselves a brand new stylus. I'm gonna need this because I'm gonna need to go back into my 3DS and play Mario Luigi Bowser's Inside Story.
Nice.
So I'm gonna need a stylus that will definitely get lost in the future, and this will be $5 wasted. And then we got ourselves a brand new 3DS charger.
We'll see you guys next time. I'm gonna end this now because I have to go to the office now and show Jad my hunt, and you know he's gonna be super excited. Oh, you got Superman 64? Huh, I haven't played it yet. Yeah, let's see what the game looks like. We'll see you guys in the next one. Comment, like, subscribe, and follow us.
Catch us on the flip side, guys.
Return policy game.
It feels like I'm